Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariane. I work as a project manager in animation, but I also am an independent comic book creator. And I have created series that span 300 pages for Webtoon as a Webtoon canvas creator. And I've also created short stories. And usually I've created all of these comics and all of these works digitally, but I've been finding myself stepping away from that medium lately. I've been feeling really attracted to getting back to traditional techniques. And I want to attempt those traditional techniques even in my comic book making, which sounds quite daunting and like a lot of work, but that's actually what is exciting to me in this moment. So what happens when you try to unalive yourself and death has other plans in store for you? How do you deal with that? Well, back in 2022, I wrote exactly that story, and I wrote it with the intention of making it into a graphic novel. And that graphic novel was to be called Death Won't Let Me Die. And I actually created a whole pitch for it, and I tried to pitch it around different publishers without an agent, which was probably a big mistake. But I also think I still had a lot to learn, and I still had some work to do in order to make that vision come to reality exactly like I wanted it to. I also moved to a new country, which kind of put a pause on any big projects that I had. And so I kind of put it on a drawer and let it go for a little bit. Now it's 2026, and I think it's time that I actually start making this graphic novel happen, regardless of whether or not I get the attention of any publishers. This is a story that I really feel I want to tell. And this is a story that I want to finish and that I want to see come to life through art. Moreover, this story is about learning to appreciate life again, even or despite the apparent hopelessness of the world around us. It's about finding and learning different ways to cope with the absurdity of the world around us and still being able to find light within that chaos. Which, to be honest, this felt really in line with what was going on back in 2022. But now in 2026, I think it's even like more in line with how chaotic the world feels. So yeah, what better time than now to make it happen, I guess. So I got myself this like stand for my desk to be able to draw, and I also got myself this light table that I'm putting on the stand. And my first ever attempt at just really trying to make like a comic strip by hand was this page. I did a pencil pass and then I inked it. I was playing it really safe because the drawing style is very simple, the inking is very, very simple, and just there's no backgrounds essentially. So that was the first test. Then I thought, why not try and draw something that is related to the graphic novel itself? And so I made this little illustration. I first used a red pencil and then a proper gray regular pencil because I couldn't see through my lines on the light box or light pad, whatever it's called. And then I did some inks with like a fountain pen essentially. And I liked it. Like, it's not bad, but the lines are pretty much like the same width throughout, which is a style and could look really good, but I'm not entirely convinced that I like that style because I really do like thick and thin line work in the same drawing. But that was a good learning experience, and here's the final like colored version of that. I hope that you guys can see it there. Then I thought, why not do something that was low stakes? So I was jamming to this song that had just come out called Kerosene by a Mexican band of sisters that I really like. And so I did this penciling, and then I added inks. And this was another really interesting learning experience because I didn't do the background behind them traditionally. I drew that digitally because I thought it was really hard. And I also was planning on animating this whole thing, which I did, and I'm gonna show you here what I did with it. So here is the colored version of the page and the animated version of the page. And I thought that that was pretty cool. I also wanted to try and do a page with a crowd from the new trailers of The Vampire Lestat, Interview with the Vampire, because I love that show. And so I did this pencil page. Then I added the inks, and this is what it looked like colored digitally. Again, I learned a lot because this page entailed a lot of dark shadows and lights, and as you can see, I didn't even detail this parts because I knew that they would be colored in black. This is when I started thinking about planning for this process, because with traditional media, once you put the pen down, that's it. So I thumbnailed some pages, some ideas for pages from the first act of my graphic novel. And then I thought, okay, well, let's try that. And I did this page. And I used my red pencil here, and then I added some inks, which are these ones. And again, I feel like something about the line width being almost the same throughout, I didn't love. And then I thought I wasn't very good at planning for the background behind this like steam that divides the panels and the lettering. So I wasn't super satisfied with it, and I needed to figure out something else. So this is where I am right now. This is the latest version of the first page of the graphic novel. I think it looks a lot better. As you can see, I actually added a detailed background, and I was able to figure out the steam and the transition from the steam down to her smoking. And I really like the layout in general. I just think this is a much stronger page. And maybe this is just me, but I still feel like there's something missing with the inks. I don't know. I'll continue experimenting. This is the pencil work that I did below it. And I'm trying to figure out like what the size of this comic's going to be, what kind of tools are going to best serve me for this traditional process, which this is all very new to me, so I have no idea. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know, because that would really help. I don't know that many people who still create comics by hand, and that's something I want to do. So yeah, the inking process, the layout process, penciling process, that's all going to be done traditionally. And then I'm thinking of coloring this graphic novel digitally. And I'm still trying to figure out whether I want it to be like a limited color palette, black and white, fully colored. We're still in that stage right now, but I still think it's very valuable to see that work and follow that process with me, in case you're curious about how people go about making a graphic novel by hand, how people go about just learning to do that by hand. Because even though I've made comics in the past, I don't really know how to do this process traditionally. And I don't know what that entails. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to scan my pages. So it's all of these things that I'm trying to figure out, while at the same time going through life, having full-time jobs, and dealing with a lot of crazy shit that's happening right now. So yeah, if you find that interesting, well, welcome. Follow me around and let's make this graphic novel happen. This is Milena.
Hi!
And Milena is going to be our set designer for the graphic novel that I'm working on. Right now we're working on one of the main sets from the beginning of the story, the bathroom. I scanned the drawing that I did yesterday and I am coloring it digitally. And Mila was just telling me about her vision board.
So this is my vision board. I'm sure you're gonna hear me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
My vision board.
And
it was funny because like you posted about it the other day, but I did this like last December. And when you posted, you said so much stuff that I do too. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is my wallpaper here and on my phone.
No way. Oh my god, that's awesome. See,
Yeah.
the allegations that we share a brain cell.
We do. We do.
We're not gonna beat those.